So I'm assuming you already know how to use rowCall. You've already installed it here. And again, I'm calling out rows under the column name. So each of my students, it has their data. As you see here, I selected it. And it's using the column headers. So that's how rowCall essentially works. It pulls out whatever column you want into its own tab. I'm assuming you know that already. But what I also like to do is I have a score. So if you look at my form, this is where the data is inputted to the sheet. Again, I choose my students' names, their blog URL, and I give them a score. So just for the sake of practice, we'll click on this in a week, and then demo, and submit. And as you see, it's going into the formula, the response form response sheet. There we go, demo right there. Now, what was handy, you didn't see in the form, was this column called score. I added that to the sheet myself. I typed in score, and on the second row, right under it, I clicked on this formula of sum. And then what I wanted to sum was, again, these columns across. And so Again, this is something that happens when you have rowCall automatic. So I need to go back to the sheet, form response. You want to, when you're working with your data and you have rowCall installed, it's best to turn off automatic while you're working, because as you just saw, it jumped from sheet to sheet. So I turn that off while I'm doing work, so I can show you. So here again, I hit sum. So let me try that again. I'm going to click on sum, and I'm going to select these this data, hit enter, and so it summed up D2 to H2, and there it is. So I'm going to actually just for now close rowCall, get it out of the way. Now I can manually drag that formula down, but it's easier if every time I fill out a form, it would automatically sum that up for the entries. And to do that, see that it's been working. I've added another add-on called Formula copyDown. So to do that, again, you go to the add-ons, and here's the copyDown. You get it in the Get Add-ons and find copyDown, and here's the settings. Now, what you want to do is it's going to ask you, well, which row is your formula in, and it's in row 2. Make sure it's turned on, and that is the formula, and I'm going to paste the values, and I'm going to save the settings. So once that's installed, and now every time you enter a form data, it's going to copy down that final score. And from that, you see it actually also sends the score to the individual students. So you have the total, you have the individual criteria and the total scores. Don't delete these columns that copyDown makes or your formulas in the sheets. Now I like to go another step. So here's Emily's data. And what I like to do is I went to the data and I created a pivot table. And what that did, it made a new sheet, and I renamed it. And I, again, look up, I have other videos on using pivot tables, so you might want to watch those as well. So again, what it does, it sums all of and displays all of the total scores for each of the different criteria, the writing, the elements of style, on time. And so here's the running record of that data and where they are. I created a graph from the pivot table. And again, you can also publish that chart and then embed it into a blog or a Google site, and send it to the students and share it with the students as well. And so every time I add a new entry, it's going to adjust this chart. And I've done that for each of my students, so we can see where they are over time. It's just a nice, handy way to use this spreadsheet. So again, there we're using rowCall, we're using copyDown, we've created a formula, and there we can really get a clearer detail of the data that our students for our students' blog writing. So I hope that's helpful. Let me know if you have any questions.